words, on one side is an institution that will collect, and on the other side is an institution that actually creates these enterprises, creates these high-value, innovation-led startups.
This week on Inside Government, we're talking to the Chief Executive Officer of the Kenya Innovation Agency, Dr. Tony Omwanse, and we shall be exploring what Kenya is doing to reposition itself as an African technology and innovation hub. Watch the conversation right here on KBC Channel 1 with me, O'Brien Kimani.
Taqwa imefafanuliwa kuwa ni kinga baina ya mja na adhabu ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Pia taqwa ni kumtii Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bila kumwasi.
Na katika maana nyingine ya taqwa kama kusema ni kumtii Mwenyezi Mungu wala haifai kuwa ni kumuasi. Wayudhkara wala fala yunsa. Na Mwenyezi Mungu awe ni kudhukuriwa, awe ni kukumbukwa kila wakati, wala asije akawa ni kusahaulika. Wayushkara wala fala yukfar.
When a mother comes at the clinic, we encourage them to do home programs. That is a home program. It's like a therapy session that is skills the skills transferred to the mother or the caregiver so that they can be doing it at home.
So for a child that is born that is not privileged enough to go for therapy, then it becomes hard for that child to achieve their milestones.
So I've seen the challenges of waking up, not getting medicines, waking up, calling friends to ask for medicines. It is a very sad state of affair.
See, is this one of the many disabilities or a condition that we have, and it has nothing to do with witchcraft.
The race for the African Union Commission chairperson is on. The stakes are high, the expectations higher. 54 countries. Who will lead Africa's vision? Catch the live debate this Friday, December 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. on KBC Channel 1. Don't miss it as the candidates face off. The Mjadala Africa Debate.
Good afternoon to you from wherever you're watching us from, and thank you so much for choosing KBC Channel 1 to inform you this Friday afternoon. Plenty shaping the news today in general news, business and sports. I'm Doreen Arange. Brian Muraru is our sign language interpreter. We begin this live broadcast with some health matters where a surgical unit has been launched in Samburu East to cater to the needs of residents. Speaking during the launch, Samburu Governor Lati Lelit noted that residents previously had to travel over 120 kilometers to Maralal town to access surgical services. He added that improving healthcare services in the area will help reduce infant mortality rates.
tuko na fully equipped theater ambaye ni furaha sana kwa sababu tukiangalia area hii barabara ni mbaya, ni mbali from all over the places. Isiolo ni mbali, Mara ni mbali, na wakina mama wakipata complication mara kwa mara wanakimbizwa, na wakifika huko it's already late, wamepoteza mtoto ama saa nyingine tunapoteza wote wawili.
So kufunguliwa kwa theater itasaidia kupunguza mzigo mingi ya kwenda Mara, kitu ya kwanza, lakini zaidi itasaidia wale patients walikuwa referred Mara waweze kupata usaidizi badala ya kwenda na uchungu yote mpaka Mara.
Iwe naomba governor iwe referral watakuja kutoka Mara, sio kwenda kutoka Pandei, na hiyo ndio maoni ninaona kwa mbali hapa itakuwa mzuri, na human resource ambaye inahitajika tunaomba tu iwe kabisa madaktari wale ambaye wanahitajika wawe hapa wa kutosha.
The Cabinet is finalizing a memo on restructuring the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation to enhance its delivery on its mandate in the fulfillment of its obligation to its employees, the government and Kenyans at large. Information, Communication and the Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Dr. Margaret Ndungu revealed this while responding to issues raised by Kenya Union of Journalists during a roundtable with media leaders at a Nairobi hotel. Among other issues raised is the appointment of a media council board, a complaints commission, and payment of debts owed by the government to media houses.
For inter-users input and support into that.
Information, Communication and the Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary Dr. Margaret Ndungu hosted a media leaders roundtable to discuss issues affecting the media industry and its role in shaping public discourse.
Hi, my name is Amu Kanapeli.
The issues raised were, among others, the facilitation of a media council board and the media complaints commission to address issues of the media fraternity, review of several laws hindering the operations of the media, including taxation and roles of regulators and other state actors in the operations of the media.
Three is also to undertake reforms in issuing of radio and television frequencies and licenses. Creation of a dedicated department within the ministry to deal with media matters.
On matters the state broadcaster, the union stressed the need for its strengthening to conform to the latest trends in the industry and improving staff welfare to motivate them, to which the Cabinet Secretary announced progress on a memo on KBC's restructuring.
The pension scheme is in arrears to the tune of 3 billion. So at the moment, the KBC is paying people who retired in April 2021. KBC struggles to pay salaries, and we know KBC is a very, very important institution in Kenya, and therefore it requires more money from the government, from the treasury.
We take note of the salary payment. We take note of the fact that most of their services are not as they should be, and again we will work together to ensure that we address those issues.
While appreciating the role of the Fourth Estate in holding the government accountable, journalists were also asked to be factual in their reportage.
If the price of unga was 270 2 years ago and it is now below 130, you also need to say that is correct.
Other issues raised were the safety of journalists and prosecution of those found harming the media fraternity while on duty, as well as seeking cabinet approval to host the 2026 African Media Convention.
We have a generation that we must protect. What young people see us doing is what they will continue doing. So we have to set a good example. And again, this is an area we can work together.
Isofar reporting for Lunchtime News.
The National Police Reservists in Isiolo County are set to undergo a fresh revetting exercise. The exercise is meant to weed out rogue elements accused of undermining efforts to bring lasting peace to the region. Isiolo County Commissioner Geoffrey Omondi noted that some NPR officers use guns given to them by the government to venture into private hiring, going against protocol. The exercise will commence next week.
Tuko na NPR ya kutosha, na hao NPR tulileta hapa kwa sababu ni watu wa hiyo area, lakini unaona hao NPR Tumewapatia bunduki, lakini hiyo bunduki wanatumia vibaya. Wanatumiwa kufanya mambo ya private hiring. NPR watakuwa chini ya chief katika hiyo location. Na chief awe na register ya wale NPR wanakaa katika location yake. Ndio wizi ikifanyika, hakuna kukuja kwa hospitali, ni polisi. Unasaidia wananchi wapi? Pale.
To the coastal region, the youths in those particular counties have questioned the genuineness of public participation, saying not so much is being done to prove their opinion on proposed pieces of legislation matters. Speaking at a public participation forum in Kilifi, the group said the Youth Bill 2024 must encompass their views and create a fund to promote youth creativity and increase resources to support young people economically.
The bill is not giving the youth a very explicit composition and position for leadership. And I think that is something that is very crucial to us. We do not want youth to be like recipients of the bill. We want to be owners of the bill as well as the drivers of the bill.
So kwa sababu sisi ni youth na hii agenda na hii policy ni yetu sisi kama youth. Wacha sisi vijana youth wakae kipaumbele.
Kitu yenye nimependa na bill ni kuwa imeweka categories tofauti za vijana kutoka wale walemavu, vijana wenye hawajaweza kupata elimu, vijana wa kuishi mtaani, wamegusiwa. Angalau kila mtu tuna feel hapo ameguswa.
Participation in
Moving on, Lands Cabinet Secretary Alice Wahome has warned those encroaching on public land that action will be taken against them. Wahome has, to that effect, cautioned government officials against issuing fake title deeds that are used to harass and dispossess legitimate landowners of their parcels. She further directed all land registrars to facilitate learning institutions with title deeds to protect them from encroachment and grabbing.
Na wale wamezoea kusubua wananchi kwa ardhi zao. Wewe unatafuta ardhi hatimiliki badia. Nitapatana na wewe. Maofisa wetu wanajua. Wewe husika na hiyo mambo, ujue kazi yako inaweza fika mwisho. You should know that the government will recover its property. The public property must be secured and recovered. Na ndipo tuna program ya kuensure kila shule iko na hatimiliki yake. Kwa hivyo registrar, nyinyi msaidie all the schools around.
Residents of Bobasi in Kisii County have decried the poor state of the Nyamache bridge, which has crippled transport services in the area. The residents say the bridge, which connects public offices to the town and its environs, collapsed due to heavy rains, and several months on, nothing has been done despite funds being allocated to fund the project. They accuse the area member of parliament for failing to address the issue.
Bus Central, Bus Masige and Pugetauri. Na tuko na hospitali kubwa hapa sana. Hatujakuja hapa kumchokoza ama kuongea vibaya kuhusu.
Mjumbe wetu wa Bobasi Innocent Oviri, kama huwezi tusaidia hii daraja, this time hatutakujali. Tafadhali. Tunakuomba, tumehangaika hapa kwa miaka mitatu sasa, hatupati services kwa sababu ya hii daraja.
A family in Kiambu County is seeking financial assistance to help them bury their kin in Kakamega. They say their dad, 62-year-old Abel Kiele Inyangala, was knocked by a van belonging to Kiambu County government while on his way to work and died on arrival at a hospital in Ruiru. They say they have not managed to raise enough money for the burial expenses. They also questioned the removal of the removal of the ill-fated van from a police station before investigations into the accident was completed.
hapa county hii mochari walisema hawana uwezo ya kubeba mtu mwenye amefanyia postmortem ili transfer mwili to KU ama Thika, na sisi hatuna uwezo. Kwa hivyo sisi tunaomba usaidizi.
Huyu baba yetu alikongewa Kitunguri primary akiwa anaenda Cascade Works. Dereba kutoroka alipatikana na akakipeleka mpaka polisi, akaandikisha statement. Sasa yeye aliandikisha ndio tujue aliandikisha nini.
Youths in Kilifi County have been urged to pursue technical courses in an effort to empower themselves economically. Speaking at Weru Technical and Vocational College in Jilore Ward, Kilifi County, after receiving an assortment of welding and fabrication machines worth 13 million shillings from Canada, Malindi Member of Parliament Amina Laura Mnyanzi said technical skills would help solve the problem of unemployment in the area.
Nataka nitangaze kwa Kenya nzima na hususan kwa watu wa Malindi kwamba welding and fabrication courses saizi zinapatikaniwa hapa ndani ya Weru Technical Institute. Ziko hapa. Tujitokeze kwa wingi. Wanafunzi waweze kufika hapa Weru. Kwa mapendekezo yangu mimi kama mbunge, by next year tunataka tusukume ya kwamba wanafunzi they move from 1,500 to 2,000 students. Kwa sababu sisi lengo letu ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba hapa Weru we turn it into a polytechnic.
Wengi hawakuwa wana njia na mpangilio wa kujipatia skills na kujitafutia ajira. Na uwepo wa hiki chuo kwa saa hii unafanya wengi wamepata hii elimu na wanaendelea kujipatia njia ya kipato.
To some security matters now, West Pokot Governor Simon Kachapin has lauded security agencies operating in the region for suppressing insecurity and curtailing cattle rustling in the North Rift region. Speaking at Makutano area, Governor Kachapin said the security agencies' prompt response to emergencies has discouraged would-be perpetrators of violence. He noted that the deployment of National Police Reservice to hotspot areas has been vital in curbing the banditry menace.
Mambo ya usalama si kitu ya kufanya ubishano. Wale watoto wadogo wa shule, kuna mmoja kutoka na Urotuma hapo na ule mwingine anatoka Tiati, waliweka hapa wazi kwamba hakuna faida ya vita. Ukienda sasa hivi kutoka Lombut pale miti ya stima imeanguka. Na ile watoto walisema hivyo kwamba hakuna stima, hakutakuwa na stima, hakutakuwa na maji, hakutakuwa na barabara. Lazima viongozi wetu wajue without peace we can't realize development.
An non-governmental organization, Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition, in collaboration with the Mombasa County Government, wants Kenyans to prioritize the consumption of nutritious food during this festive season. Speaking in Mombasa, County Coordinator John Mongo said they are intensifying the push for the intake of more vegetables and fruits to address health challenges and subsequently deal with malnutrition amongst children.
Tunaambia wananchi wasikule chakula mbaya, wakule chakula ambacho iko poa, chakula ambayo iko fiti. Na wakati wa Christmas ile chakula fiti kabisa ni chakula ambayo unakula mboga kwa wingi. Unapokula mbuzi, unapokula nyama kwa wingi, sahani yako nusu iwe ni mboga na matunda. Na hiyo inasaidia katika kupunguza weight.
Chief Justice Martha Koome led a delegation from the Supreme Court of Kenya in donating essential food items to Mama Ibado Charity Home in Isiolo County. The visit is part of the Supreme Court's corporate social responsibility and showcasing their commitment to giving back to the community.
During the visit, Chief Justice Martha Koome expressed admiration for Mama Ibado's unwavering dedication to serving others and encouraged the young generation to emulate the spirit of generosity and selflessness.
We thank the young generation for really following the footsteps of Mama Ibando, a great woman who felt satisfied only when she shared with another.
The charity organization was created in honor of the memory of Mama Ibado Haji Osman and to alleviate the suffering of the elderly in the society.
Although she didn't go to school, she still had the wisdom, understanding, and vision to set the foundation for Mama Ibado charity.
The judges interacted with the elders, most of whom faced hardships in not only accessing food due to the harsh climatic conditions and insecurity. Martini Maslin for Lunchtime News.
16 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for our first break. We'll recall with plenty more, including business and sports. Stay put.
High School Mission and Ministry has become one of the most effective when it comes to evangelism and salvation. But the dynamics are shifting.
Music is becoming an entry or a point of entry into some of the beliefs, changing the way they believe and the way they do things.
We are dealing with a very smart generation, very exposed.
Very.
The ordinary evangelism may not work.
If we can have parents take up their responsibility in teaching the word of God. For those of us, some of the challenges we are having are children of believers.
These are people who are paving the way for female comedians who are winning our hearts and cracking our ribs one show at a time.
I'm a stand-up comedian full-time, but I'm also a screenwriter and a producer at times.
I am a stand-up comedian and I do leather design.
I'm an AWS, Amazon Web Services, solutions architect, and then of course, I'm a stand-up comedian.
It's hard to explain to my mom I've been fired when I was barely working. Yeah.
Just every setback, can definitely be a new beginning for you.
And for a very long time, I would like to make my brothers laugh. I didn't even know there's something like stand-up comedy.
Things that were happening, and that's when my family started calling me a ray of sunshine, Like you bring cheer and joy. And I was like, let's take this to the stage.
I hope that more women are encouraged to get into comedy.
Welcome back. Let's continue to inform you. And tropical cyclone Chido formed over the southwestern Indian Ocean basin of the Madagascar coastline is barreling towards Pemba on the Mozambique coastline and could affect part of Malawi. The Southern Africa Development Corporation Humanitarian and Emergency Operations Center earlier in the week issued an alert for the weather system.
According to the information sourced from the various weather centers and corroborated by the World Meteorological Organization, Tropical Cyclone Chido has developed into an intense system at maximum sustained surface winds of 195 kilometers per hour. The Category 3 cyclone is currently over Madagascar and is expected to pass Comoros, dissipating at Pemba in Mozambique and parts of Malawi. The SADC Humanitarian and Emergency Operations Center warns that based on the forecasts, other parts of the SADC region are expected to receive heavy rainfall when the weather system dissipates, including western Angola, eastern DRC, Congo, and parts of northern Tanzania.
Time for your business news, and fashion designers should strive to preserve culture while embracing sustainable practices in a bid to blend artistry with sustainability. Shift 80 founder Migi Sakata says there is need to offer young designers the much needed exposure and opportunities for growth in the competitive world of fashion.
The impact that fashion has on the world, I'm sure you know of like fast fashion and how fast fashion has contributed to a lot of waste in the world and a lot of not so good things to do with the environment. So I champion sustainability because it gives us another option, another way of making clothes.
But I want to be able to offer employment to other people. Like if I have a big brand, I can also hire people to come and sew from the NGO that helped me. I just hope that someday I'll be able to create employment for people and also have my NGO someday, most especially for autistic kids in the ghetto, because that is the help that is not, I've not seen that kind of organization for specifically autistic people.
Many people have an interest about sustainable and environment. It's very important. So that's why I decided this theme is sustainable.
Believe in yourself, because I never believed in myself. So me winning all this actually creates a very huge impact in my life. So anything, the small details from anything, just create it. You may never know, tomorrow might be a time.
Dining on a floating restaurant or cruise offers an intimate atmosphere for loved ones, business partners to bond more. This is an experience that Kenyans have had to fly out to enjoy. However, the idea is now taking root, with Kenyans investing in offering such experience on the Indian Ocean, lakes in Kenya, and smaller water bodies in places such as Nairobi, as Muchuma Odim narrates on this week's edition of Magical Scenes. Watch.
Floating restaurants or cruises offer an opportunity to get better views of buildings, flora and fauna along the shores of a water body. Most countries with cities on the shores of oceans, seas of large rivers, have evening cruises for visitors to enjoy their dinner on boats, ferries or ship. Here in Kenya, such services have been taking root mostly along the coast. This is either by building a restaurant or converting a boat or ferry to offer dining services. The craze has caught up with Nairobi, unlike in other places where floating restaurants target many people in their tens or hundreds. Here in Karen, the experience is tailored to be more intimate. About 5 guests and a safety person board each of the 50 boats here for a dining experience. As a guest, you have the option of choosing whether to dine on a fuel-powered boat or one controlled by these ropes. Those looking for intimate experiences are among those who visit here.
It can be done to hold small events. Then the good thing is the bridge and all the restaurants are suspended on water. So sometimes we could set you a bit loose so that you enjoy the sway like somebody who's on a boat. Yeah, so it's you get to have the feeling of eating while you're floating. We try to let it look as natural as possible, and it's a new experience for those who've never been here. So I could say the swaying of the water and the fun bit of it, the coziness of the restaurants inside, it's an experience that you need to look forward to. There are those who enjoy a cool night by the pool, by the beach, nice and quiet with the breeze and everything. So the other side of the beach has very beautiful paintings.
We are also informed that students and researchers keen on zoology frequent this place due to the high number of birds in Karen.
You're enjoying the scenery of the water while you're having your official meetings.
Floating restaurants are perfect for sundowner and taking pictures of the sunset or sunrise. Chuma Odim, Magical Scenes in the county of Nairobi.
Such an interesting piece there from Chuma Udem. And our plans are underway to roll a livestock identification and traceability program that will see each livestock in Kenya given a digital tag and identification. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Andrew Karanja says this is part of measures to boost export of livestock products, ensuring food safety and tackling livestock theft.
Kenya is targeting to secure key livestock markets such as the US, Europe and the Middle East through increased animal surveillance and health. The Agriculture Cabinet Secretary says digital livestock identification will enhance traceability, which is one of the requirements for key markets.
If you want to trade internationally, even in the coffee, the tea and all the other products, issues about traceability, where does this material come from? That is a very important issue.
The livestock identification program is also part of a solution to tackling animal theft.
We are now going to the technology way. We tag the animal using a tag or an electronic tag. So it's a program which is going to be rolled out early next year.
The livestock identification program, to be rolled out next month, will run parallel with the livestock vaccination program, targeting to offer foot and mouth disease vaccine doses to 22 million cattle and PPR vaccine doses to 15 million goats and sheep.
The volume of vaccines is clear. 22 million doses for foot and mouth and close to 50 million doses for PPR. This is targeted for sheep and goats.
Karanja says 34 investors have shown interest in starting tanneries in special economic zones as part of plans to enhance value addition to skins and hides, most of which are exported raw or semi-raw.
A cow's hide, you can get up to 10 pairs of shoes. Even if you sell that shoe for 1,000, you can see the amount of money you have.
An additional 1 billion shillings has been availed for livestock restocking program, targeting 10,000 families in 16 counties who lost their animals to drought. Benson Rioba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Investments, Trade and Industry Cabinet Secretary Salim Voria says Kenya is fine-tuning the tax regime as well as finalizing on other incentives to help boost investments in the country. Here is Alan Aoko with the details.
Export processing zones and special economic zones in Kenya have created over 7,000 direct jobs, including 3,000 jobs in the past 12 months. To enhance their contribution to the economy, the government is working on making the country more conducive to investments.
What we have done with the special economic zones is that we have made even more provisions to make it more stable, even in terms of the tax rebates that we are giving in the zones, and therefore we are making it a more predictable investment environment in the special economic zones.
However, some guidelines on setting up in special economic zones are said to be restrictive and edging out some investors.
There have been at least one case that we've done in Naivasha where the investor took a bit of time. He did not fulfill the promises he had given us, and in that case we had to cancel the license for them. That's only the one case. Otherwise, by and large, many of our investors have been okay.
They were speaking on a site visit to Infinity Industrial Park, a 200-acre special economic zone in which 11 companies have expressed interest in setting up their operations.
There's a lot of good work going on here to employ Kenyans, to export and also have products in country. So as ministry, we want to assure the investors here that we will continue to support these investments.
Kenya has 39 special economic zones, of which 9 are public, while 30 are private. Alanauko, Lunchtime News.
The Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry is calling for a review of the tax regime as the government prepares next year's budget to create a more conducive environment for business. The Kenya National Chamber of Commerce director says that this is being looked at. Of Commerce and Industry Vice Chairperson Engineer Chris Kandia says numerous levies and high lending rates have resulted in increased cost of production.
More. I know there have been a lot of effort to support especially the SMEs, but I believe the breakthrough of Kenyan economy sits squarely in what Kenya Bureau of Standards does. Because by sensitizing most of the SMEs especially on what the processes that they need to comply with for them to access even the export markets.
Laikipia East Deputy Commissioner Patrick Muli wants parents to be protective of their children this festive season. Muli says being a long holiday season, there are dangers that the young ones could find themselves in all sorts of trouble and may fall prey to vices such as drug abuse, teenage pregnancy and other social ills. He wants parents to monitor their children and deliver them back to school safe and sound.
Mzimu wa Christmas unakuanga mzimu mdogo sana na uko na majaribio mingi sana. Unakuja wakati watoto wetu hawako shule. Starehe ama sherehe zinakuanga mingi sana. Hii ni wakati mnatakiwa muwe karibu na watoto wenu. Lazima muwe makini. Chochote inafanyika na watoto, binti ni mvulana, msichana, tafadhali mkae karibu na watoto. Watoto wengi Disemba hii ndio tunapata watoto wengi wanapotea.
Hoteliers at the coast are reporting increased bookings this festive season, with some travelers already arriving for the Christmas festivities. According to John Yegon, a hotelier, the operationalization of the Madaraka Express train service as well as low-cost flights have made it convenient and affordable to travel to the coast for leisure as well as business.
The scenic, pristine sandy beaches have for years made the coast a key tourist destination.
Let's treat these visitors with caution. Let's take them, handle them carefully, because the experience they are having here is going to determine their return back to Mombasa. Majority have come with their families because they took an opportunity to come for holiday. We did a lot of promotion and they've come to sample whatever Mombasa is offering.
Coupled to cultural sites, local cuisine and improved transport infrastructure, the coast attracts many travelers during the holiday season.
Because from the 20th of December, most hotels will be full. We are a city hotel, the best city hotel in Mombasa and the biggest one in Mombasa. So we do expect to be full, although we are at 80% at the moment. We still have openings for people to book and come into Mombasa.
Operationalization of the Madaraka Express train service. Low-cost flights have made it convenient and affordable to travel to the coast. Whereas some would prefer lazy walks along the beach, travelers who prefer city stays to beach vacays enjoy the nightlife and street food. Regina Manyara reporting for Lunchtime News.
To some sporting action now. Uganda girls team and Tanzania boys team are the new CAF African School Football Champion zonal winners after they registered 8-0 and 2-0 wins over their Rwandese opponents respectively. Brenda Nasak opened the score for Uganda with 4 goals before Halima Mupianga scored a brace, solidifying Uganda's lead as Cynthia Kirenga and Lilian Nabukera wrapped the win, putting Uganda on the top of the table on goal difference. Meanwhile, Eric Yusu and Jabiri Farijala scored the 2 goals for Tanzania. The 2 teams will represent the zone at the Continental Tournament next year. Manchester United came from a goal down to win 2-1 against Victoria Pleasant in the UEFA Europa League thanks to Rasmus Holjude's brace that earned the Reds maximum points. In other matches, group leaders Lazio. That's all the time we had for you this Friday afternoon. We appreciate you for your valid company. This has been KBC Lunchtime News. I'm Doreen Arange. Brad Muraru has been our sign language interpreter. Good afternoon.
The race for the African Union Commission chairperson is on. The stakes are high, the expectations higher. 54 countries. Who will lead Africa's vision? Catch the live debate this Friday, December 13th, 2024 at 7 p.m. on KBC Channel 1. Don't miss it as the candidates face off. The Mjadala Africa Debate.
Na kwani nini inaendelea? Sizi ambia watu ni nini na mimi mwenyewe sijajua.
Okay. Weka ukijua Alex asipopona in the next 24 hours naenda polisi. Sawa?
Uko na evidence?
Quit, relax. I need you more than you need me. I'm coming.
Ni sawa.
Tulete vitu kutoka China. Tukiziuza tutahomoka.
Oh, mkiwa na nani?
Si mimi na wewe. The once perfect couple.
That's the thing. You're trying to make me divert from what I wanted to ask you.
Sasa tumeanza mpaka kusengenywa. We have become the topic of discussion.
Hey, Mom, come on.
A billion-dollar industry preying on young Africans while enriching multinationals. Governments fight for control of this lucrative trade that promises millions but instead delivers debt.
I was totally messed up. My heart is totally wounded.
They say winners know when to quit. But sports betting is taking over Africa and fleecing everyone.
Dopamine rush or addiction. I don't know what you do with your money, but I'm a pretty frugal person, so I've only played the lottery once and never done sports betting. Sports betting is getting more and more popular on the continent, especially online. We have increasing internet connectivity, mobile payment options, and smartphones becoming more available. So all it takes is a few clicks and you're hooked. Welcome to the 77%, the show for Africa's majority, the under 35s. This time with me, your host, Liz Cho. Here's what we have for you today. Our lively street debate in Kampala sees Ugandans dispute the pros and cons of online gambling. Our correspondents reveal how sports betting has exploded across Africa and why regulation is a double-edged sword. And finally, we find a champion in an unusual place, and her prowess with Q has changed her life. Across Africa, many young people believe sports betting is a quick fix to their money problems. In Nigeria alone, there are over 100 betting companies making millions. Nkwechukwu Ikeeze is just one of many Nigerians draining their bank accounts in the hope of one day hitting the jackpot.
24-year-old Nigerian Nkechukwu Ikeeze is addicted to betting. He just can't help himself.
I just play the game now. I lose for the game now. I try 700 now. Now I'm losing now. So I want to just stick again if I can win again.
During junior secondary school, Nkechukwu was introduced to betting by a friend.
So anytime they give me money for school, me and my guy, once we close from school, we start with 500 in Bet Nigeria.
Despite earning less than $40 a month as a housekeeper, Nkechukwu spends lavishly on betting each week. In just 4 years, he has poured over $1,000 into his betting habit. There were wins, but mostly losses.
My biggest loss is almost 150,000 naira. That day, just like I don't get myself that day. I really don't get myself that day. I was like shocked at what was going on. Like from nowhere, my body starts getting hot. I was like, what's going on with me? Even when my mom was talking to me, I was like, what she was talking to me was not even entering my brain itself. I was like, she was even about like 5 minutes. She noticed my eye was red. She asked me like, why? Do you want to cry? I said, no. I said, don't worry. I'll say to myself.
After leaving the betting shop, Nkechukwu immediately heads home to start betting online using his smartphone. Critics in Nigeria have complained about the predatory practices of betting companies and the lack of support for addicts. In Nigeria, it's estimated that over 60 million people gamble. Many are young Nigerians seeking to overcome boredom, unemployment, and poverty, and believe that betting is a quick fix solution to their money problems. What they don't know, or more precisely don't want to know, is that the game is fixed and they can never win.
The bookies always win. I say the house never lose because the bookie has taken his own commission anyways. And every time you run at loss, he's smiling to the bank. And few times when you win, it's just a small portion of you that wins. The rest of chunk of them have lost.
Lagos resident Oladokun Ademola worries about the tactics betting companies in Nigeria use to attract customers. He says these businesses often employ social media influencers to encourage gambling. They present themselves as betting entrepreneurs, claiming to have cracked the code to profitable gambling.
There's a guy called Mayor of Ekiti. He's trending and he has a lot of followers and a lot of people. I mean, the guy supposedly won 100 million naira yesterday. Wow, suddenly. You know? And every time, maybe in a couple of every month, you just hear the guy has won another 200 million somewhere. He has won 55 million somewhere. It'd be like, come on, man. How? Are you the only one? And they tell me, no, the guy knows his thing. He knows his thing. Okay, good, no problem. But I believe the influencers are being used to manipulate the youths. One day, you're told to just try 100,000 naira and you try and you win. Wow, you're happy, you're celebrating. And then a few weeks after, you put all your 1 million naira into it and everything is gone. And your children can no longer go to school, you can't pay your house rent. A lot of men are going through what I'm talking to you about right now.
Sports betting is growing exponentially with over 100 betting companies operating in Nigeria. It may be profitable, but the lack of regulation and taxation has increasing numbers of young people throwing their hard-earned money into a bottomless abyss.
Now, here's a statistic that blew me away. Just in 2022, the global sports betting market was worth $83 billion US, and the sector is projected to grow immensely. Let's head to the Ugandan capital, Kampala, to find out what's driving people to spend so much of their own money on a game of chance. Our colleague Edith Kimani talked to young Ugandans about their views on sports betting. And let me tell you, this street debate is on fire.